Hey, Johannes here. Many players are sadly leaving and quitting Classic Fresh WoW already. They have gotten their character to 60 and pre-bis, maybe even leveled an alt and did the same. Then AV came out and they perhaps gotten to rank 11 or reputation sorted for a few epics. But now there is nothing to do but to wait for phase 3. I made a video about that recently and in all honesty, it does not add that much for Classic Fresh WoW. They are tired of Molten Core and waiting a whole week for a quick 35-minute run. It might not be worth it for them paying 13 euros or dollars a month for this experience, and I presume many will realize this when phase 3 is eventually released. I've been playing the classic era version for over 5 years and I see it time and time again. Start of MMORPGs like World of Warcraft are all hype, but after there is a drop off. This is completely normal, but the transition from Molten Core to Blackwing Lair has always been the highest drop off period for WoW. Why is this and how come it always ends up the same? Well, Blackwing Lair is pretty easy, just like Molten Core. Guilds that will not clear the instance will suffer a whole lot and many will leave those communities. Until now they have had it easy with just Molten Core. You fix the douses and bosses fall over very easy. This is why it pays off being in a classic community that is going above and beyond. The more raids come out, the easier you will have it. There is that thinking that when BBL comes out in Classic Fresh, that it might start getting really fun. While players that are not enjoying themselves now in Classic will realize that they will not enjoy it then either. That is why the drop off is so hard during phase 3. People will start making excuses not to show up. Their dog ate their homework or their mouse and they can't play or whatever they come up with. People will start raid logging more and more. They did not have enough time to prep all the world buffs, which is basically their homework, funny enough. And no, you cannot copy it off of someone. Slowly but surely they will cancel their subscriptions and vanish, not to return again for a while. Maybe they start playing other games, or a different version of WoW perhaps. But this is the tough pill to swallow for communities. This is why we have 4 Molten Core rosters. As we know, when Blackwing Lair approaches, this will happen once again. Every Fresh is different. We do not know how many players exactly will stay and how many will quit. But every time it is the same. Tons of guilds disband and players flock to other guilds and communities, only to realize perhaps the same thing. Right now on Ironforge Pro, we are at around 14,000 raiders both on Alliance and Horde on Spine Shatter and 9 to 10,000 on Nightslayer United States. I would predict this will be going down a solid 50% in players after a few months of Blackwing Lair. Yes, that is a big drop. Some of these are alts. While there are still players leveling to 60, I understand this will help patch it up a little bit. It is not a end-all solution. If you have a guild with 50 players and 25 decide to quit, you recruit 5 of these new players, you're left with 30, which is not enough, and some might not even make your specific raid time. Players think, what is next after Blackwing Lair in Classic WoW Fresh? Well, there is Zul'Gurub, a 20-man instance you can do every 3 days. This one I admit is a lot of fun, but it will end up the same as Naxxramas. As soon as players have their stuff, they will stop running it or just run it for mounts. Same like the bags in Naxxramas. I will be hosting them for sure and look forward to it. But is it enough to keep you subscribed for WoW Classic Anniversary running BBL, Molten Core and Zul'Gurub? This is what you have to ask yourself. I don't mean to be a negative Nancy here. This is just the truth and what the video is about. In my perfect world, my favorite game, World of Warcraft, is the most popular in the world. But sadly, this is not the case. Players rather play what is new and hot. This is why Classic Fresh is also popular. Starting from scratch is fun, getting that first epic. After Zul'Gurub, we will get AQ20 and AQ40 in Classic WoW, which is exciting. I love both raids. There is the war effort before that, which is a lot of work, drama and grief between who gets Scarab Lord and rings the gong among the guilds. I'm personally not participating in that, as it is a big time waste for anyone involved that does not get the mount. Sure, you donate materials to help open it and that is fine. I'm just talking about all the other stuff around it. During AQ40 Lost Fresh in Season of Mastery, there was barely any player base left and we had to call it a day. We went back to TBC after this, as I could not even host any raids anymore. Now I'm not saying this will happen to Classic Fresh, as the phases are really fast, it should keep players engaged. Season of Mastery took way too long with the phases. Loads do not like AQ40 because it requires way more preparation though. There are more world buffs to get now with Zul'Gurub out, with the Zandalar, and people get tired of doing the same world buff chore at this point. For Molten Core in Classic Fresh, it is not that hard, you just need 1 hour on buffs. So if you do not die, you get Songflower and boon it in and get the rent and you're done. The next week you re-get Dire Maul and Naxxramas pops. They are non-stop anyway. With BBL you will need full 2 hours on these buffs, requiring more time. The world buff pops will slow down during these phases as there are less players playing. Visitors requires frost oils, zappers or easy throw dynamite, frost wands and nature potions. Warlocks have to prep their shadow rest set, and if they don't you will not be able to kill twins. Many players do not want to deal with all of this and feel BBL is a good endpoint to their WoW story. AQ20 is a lot of fun. This is also on a 3-day cooldown, just like Zul'Gurub. I was hosting 4 runs back to back in 2019 Classic and had a blast. Loads joined and we were farming it clean every 3 days. I will do the same in Classic WoW Fresh, but this instance is very far to get to in Silitus. You will always need warlocks there to summon and causes a lot of delays just to start. If you remember Season of Discovery Phase 1, it is the same like that where everyone wanted a summon. Then we get to Naxx. This is going to be the ultimate fun, but if I remember correctly, in Classic 2019 version, we did not have enough time to enjoy it. Since phases are now rushed even more, I think it will be launched quicker and we will have Burning Crusade forced down upon us very quick, which is not a bad thing. I like TBC and will be playing it. It will just have a lot of mixed feelings around players wanting to enjoy it for longer versus players asking for TBC. What do you prefer? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Would you rather play Naxx really long, or would you just have TBC ASAP? I remember raiding on Naxx Alliance with shamans and TBC talents. This was a lot of fun on pre-patch week. Would have liked to play that version a little bit longer. After all, WoW Classic Fresh Anniversary is a game, and if you have fun playing it, like us and Johannes Pugs, keep playing it. This is more of a review on the situation that is going on right now and an outlook in the future. We will see what happens. I will continue to host both on Fresh and Classic Era and look forward to the future of World of Warcraft. And if you're still looking for a place to raid with, check out our Discord below. Now go ahead and watch this video. Have a good one.